Now, if you're a smartphone filmmaker that enjoys creating travel videos, then you'll understand just how much time it takes to create something that looks and feels professional. The filming is always the really fun bit. You're out on location, filming a new city, but the edit can feel incredibly overwhelming. Well, today I'm going to be taking all of the hassle out of editing because I'm in Paris shooting footage specifically to give to 2 different editors. I'm going to be hitting some of the city's most iconic landmarks and locations, sharing some mobile filmmaking tips that you can apply to your own films and videos, and at the end of this video, I'm going to be sending all of this footage to 2 complete strangers for them to edit. A big thanks to Fiverr for sponsoring this video. This is where I'll be going to find the 2 editors to take on today's filmmaking challenge. What will these 2 edits look like, and just how much will budget influence the final results? Let's find out. Okay, so for some shots today, I'm going to shoot completely handheld because this is the quickest and easiest way. But for others, I'm going to be using some accessories. A smartphone gimbal is an incredibly useful tool for any travel filmmaker. They're small, they're lightweight, easy to use, and make a massive difference to your footage. So let's start by capturing some gimbal moves of the Eiffel Tower to help set the scene. I'm going to tap and hold my screen to lock focus and exposure, hit record, and then bring my camera low to the ground using these locks and fence as foreground, and then slowly lift my camera up to reveal the Eiffel Tower. Now, a little trick that I like to do here is to capture the same camera movement twice, once as a wide shot and once closer up. I want to give these editors as much options as possible when it comes to editing this footage, and having a good mix of shots is what's really going to make this sequence stand out. I'm currently at Palais de Chaillot, by the way, which is a very iconic location here in Paris overlooking the Eiffel Tower. It was recently used in the film John Wick 4 for the rules of engagement scene, so definitely worth spending a bit of time at this location capturing the best shots possible. I'm going to capture some smooth push forward shots using the gimbal, some slow motion pigeon shots, as well as a time-lapse with my phone attached to this fence. I want these edits to really stand out, feel professional, be interesting, and keep people watching for as long as possible. Now, the key to today's shoot is not spending any longer than necessary at each location. So once I've got what I need, I'm gonna move on. So let's head to the next location. Okay, so behind me is another world-famous landmark, the Arc de Triomphe, used in many Hollywood films. Tom Cruise has been chased around this thing on a motorbike. Keanu Reeves has opened a can of whoop-ass on some assassins. So let's see if we can replicate those Hollywood camera movements using a smartphone gimbal and an extension pole. A 3-meter long extension pole to be precise. I'm going to attach this to my gimbal, and with drones being banned in the entire metropolitan area of Paris, this is a great way to fake a drone shot and add much more production value to your footage, which I'm sure is something that these editors will be grateful for. I'm going to start with my extension pole fully extended and my camera low to the ground. I'm then going to push forward and slowly start to lift my camera up all the way above this tree, lifting it as high as it will go, revealing my focal point. And as you can see, this technique really does help give that Hollywood feel to your footage. And since we have our phone attached to an extension pole, let's make the most of it. With my phone fully extended, I'm going to push forward using these trees as foreground to create more depth and replicate a drone flying through the streets of Paris. These shots give a really unique perspective to your footage. You don't need to worry about flight restrictions or crashing your drone into people in busy environments. As long as you have your camera high up off the ground, capturing a smooth shot from an elevated position, most will assume that these shots have been captured using a drone. Also, another trick here is to replicate a crane movement. Simply start with your phone low to the ground and lift up as high as it will go. Adding something in the foreground or creating more depth will help emphasize the movement. Now, before we leave this location, I want to grab a few more shots. It's really busy here with lots of movement, so let's capture a time-lapse as well as some close-up detailed shots. I'm also looking for some unusual camera angles, perspectives, and movements, shots that others might not think of capturing, like this shot looking directly up, spinning using my smartphone gimbal to help rotate my phone. Okay, so a good mix of shots here. Let's move on to the next location. Okay, so currently just outside the Louvre and the heavens have opened. It is hammering it down here, but if there's one bit of advice I could give to any filmmaker or videographer who finds himself in this particular situation, and that is just focus on the problems that you can control rather than the ones that you can't. There is nothing that I can do to change the weather right now, so rather than go home and give up, I'm going to embrace the rain and see what I can capture. Now, we could put our phone on a tripod and capture a time-lapse like this. It looks okay, but instead, let's capture a moving time-lapse or hyperlapse. The iPhone 15 makes this incredibly easy to do handheld without using a gimbal or any fancy accessories. I'm going to tap my screen to lock focus and exposure, hit record in time-lapse mode, and start walking, trying to keep my focal point in a fixed position. Now, when you're shooting this, the shot will look incredibly shaky, almost unusable, but once you've finished, stop recording and the phone will work its magic. And after a couple of seconds of processing, we now have this. Hyperlapses are a great, quick, easy, and fun way to make your shot stand out and give your edits much more pace. Now, whilst I'm here, I'm going to capture a few more shots using the gimbal. Some elegant push forwards, tilting up to reveal the architecture, some shots using symmetry, some reveal shots, as well as some slow motion and reflection shots, making good use of these puddles caused by the rain. It's also autumn here right now, and directly opposite the Louvre are these incredible 17th century gardens, which at this time of year have an abundance of autumnal colors that I'd like to take advantage of. I'm going to apply all of the usual techniques to keep consistency throughout this final sequence, some smooth gimbal moves, some static shots, as well as a hyperlapse. I could spend the whole day just at this location, but time is of the essence. So I'm going to jump on the metro and head over to the next location, Notre-Dame Cathedral, which I didn't realize was temporarily closed and under construction after the fire that broke out in 2019. It had scaffolding covering it, it wasn't looking great, but I was able to capture a couple of shots that cropped out all of the ugliness, so it wasn't a completely wasted trip. So, on to the next location, the Montparnasse Tower. Now, it's easy to assume that the best view in Paris is at the top of the Eiffel Tower, but the problem with that is that you can't see the Eiffel Tower, whereas here you can. You've got this incredible view panning 360 degrees across the city. It costs 20 euros to get to the top, absolutely worth it. So let's set up the phone and capture some shots. Now, as incredible as the view was at the top of that tower, I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with the results. There's not much cloud movement today, so the time lapses don't really look like time lapses. So a little tip here for those of you that find yourself in a situation, try focusing on things that are moving. So in this case, I focused on the traffic and the smoke coming out of the top of these buildings. Okay, so we've definitely captured enough shots to put an edit together. So let's call it a day, head back and see if we can find someone to edit this footage into a cinematic sequence. Okay, so I've transferred all of the footage that I shot on my phone over to my laptop so that I can take a good look at it. And it turns out I got a little bit carried away because I shot a lot more than what I thought. Well over 300 clips in total. Whilst waiting for the metro, I captured these shots under the bridge. When I was traveling on the metro, I captured this tracking shot of the Eiffel Tower, the carousel, the busy streets, gift shops. So there is a lot of footage for someone to go through here, and I'm looking for a really solid 60-second edit. I'm looking for music, color grading, sound effects, creative transitions. There is definitely plenty to work with here. Shouldn't be a problem for any experienced video editor. Now, whenever I need some help with a video project, one of the first places I look is Fiverr. And if you don't know what Fiverr is, it is one of the world's largest communities of creative freelancers. In the past, I've used Fiverr to help create thumbnails for my YouTube videos. The animated logo that you saw at the beginning of this video, that was created on Fiverr. So, an incredibly useful resource if ever you're in need of some help with a creative task or project. So let's see if we can find someone to edit all of this footage. Now, you can filter your search to help find what you're looking for. You can filter by budget, delivery time, pro services, but I want to try a little experiment today. I want to send the exact same footage with the exact same brief to two different editors, one at the more budget end of the scale and the other towards the more pro end of the scale. I want to see just how much budget will affect the end results. So let's start with someone at the budget end of the scale. I'll tell you what, we could get a bit more niche here. Let's search for cinematic video editors. Okay, look, right here we have Filmmaking. I will do premium quality, mind-blowing cinematic video editing. Well, Filmmaking, that is exactly what I am looking for. His showreel looks good and he offers 3 different packages. He's got a basic for $85, a standard for $150, and a premium package for $250. And I really want this edit to look good and for someone to put time and effort into it. Now, for context here, I'm based in the UK, where the average day rate for an experienced video editor is £250 or $300 a day. And if I were to edit this myself, this edit would most likely take me a good couple of days. Just to put all these clips into order and some kind of structure, finding the right music, color correcting, color grading, speed ramps, transitions, this is all going to take time. So if Filmmaking is willing to do this for $250 or 200 quid, then this is an absolute steal. Filmmaking, you are hired, my friend. I'm going to send him a link to all of my footage, a short brief, and place my order. And with the power of editing, should we just fast forward 5 days, which is how long it took Filmmaking to deliver this edit? Let's watch this one, and then when we come back, we'll at least double the budget for the second edit. Okay, you ready? Here we go, Filmmaking. Don't let me down. So, not bad. There are things that I like about this edit and there are things that I don't like about this edit. I like the wipe transition at the beginning. That worked really well. Not keen on these twisty transitions. They feel a little cheap. Also, I'd like to see this footage stabilized a bit more. It actually looks shakier in the edit than it did when I shot it. I'm not sure why. I like that he used some of the original audio of the metro station. Overall, not a bad job. Some questionable effects and transitions, but for $250, not a bad effort, and I'm really curious to know what you think. Was this worth it? Please do let me know in the comments section below. Okay, let's step things up a bit now, shall we? Let's search for video editors, but this time let's filter by pro services. I want someone who's going to go above and beyond with this. Okay, what have we got here? We have Rory charging $700 for a minute of video. I will create jaw-dropping cinematic video edits that convert. Well, they better do at that price. So Rory is based in the UK and is part of a team, which would explain the higher rate. He's got a good show reel. He's got nothing but 5-star reviews, which is a good sign. Rory, I believe you are the man for the job. I'm going to send him a link to my footage, the exact same brief, and place my order. And once again, let's just fast forward to the good stuff and see what Rory has come up with. Are you ready? I'm expecting good things here, Rory. Let's take a look, and when we come back, we'll compare the two edits and I'll give you my honest thoughts. Okay, so straight away, for me, much better music choice with this one. There is a lot of things that really caught my eye and stood out with this edit. Loved the day to night effect with added lightning, much more seamless transitions. I can definitely see where the extra effort has gone into this edit. The shots are smooth and stable. These mask transitions work really well. Much better use of clips. A bit disappointed that they didn't use many of my fake drone shots, but hey ho. Great use of sound design with this edit, and the color grade works much better. Now, if I'm being really honest here, which I will be because I think it's important, I believe Rory did the better edit. But Rory's edit did cost 2.5 times more than Fanupa's. Was it 2.5 times better? What do you think of these final edits? What one was your favorite, and do you think they were worth the cost? Do let me know in the comments section below. If you'd like to try Fiverr for yourself, then they're offering anyone that uses the link in my description 15% off their first order when they use the code LearnOnline15 at checkout. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.